Okay, so let's start where we left off yesterday. Okay, so I think we just discussed what are the variables. Okay, what happens when the variable is created, what are the naming convention of the identifiers, or any entity do you give a name that is nothing but an identifier, right? Whether it is a variable or a class. So whenever you are assigning a name, that is nothing but a identifier. So what should be the rule we discussed? Okay, and what are the best practices that you should follow that we discussed? Now we will move ahead. Okay, to the primitive built-in data types in Python. We have lots of data types. There are three primitive built-ins. What are those? Number one, if we talk about the one is numbers. Okay, the number one comes in the category is numbers. Number two, if you talk about, is your Boolean data type, and number three, if we talk about, is your string data type, which we should focus a lot. If you understand this string well, trust me, your entire Python journey is going to be very, very, very easy. It is going to be very easy. So I will be giving very much emphasis on this, because once you are done, you understand the string very well. Then you will understand everything, your looping and everything, indexing and everything. You will become master of the Python if you understand strings very well. Okay, so we'll focus very, very much on the strings because other things are very easy. So let's first come to the numbers. What do you mean by numbers? So in numbers category, actually, we have again three number data types. Three. What is that? Number one is integer, or you can call it as a whole number, right? Or a whole number. Second category that fits in it, a decimal number or a floating point number. Okay, decimal number or a floating point number. And third category that is available is your complex number. Okay, third category is your complex number. So you will be using these two numbers more predominantly and very less in the complex number. But if somebody is doing research in the PhD, they may be needing that, the complex number. So as the name itself says, what is integer number? Everyone knows. For example, any whole number, right? Any whole number which does not have any fractional part. Only and only whole number is there. Only and only whole number. Example, a is equal to 10, right? Or a is equal to 20. Anything that ever you are putting, okay? A is equal to 205 or a is equal to 250. All these are what? These all are your whole numbers, right? All these are what? Your whole numbers. So what are these? They come in which category? They come in which category? They come into the integer class. So if I create I mentioned something like a variable name a is equal to 250. Okay. Can any one of you who have attended the class, what will happen? The process, the moment I execute this instruction, everyone, can any one of you explain? We discussed very much in detail yesterday. What will happen if I execute this? How the Python interpreter will treat it if I execute this command? Any one of you, everyone.
It will create an object of an integer class.
Yes, very good. And next step, first thing that it will happen, it will create an object of integer class. Very good. First step. And what will happen? It will put a label. Label name will be what? A.
A.
Right? That's what we are telling as a variable. Perfect. 100% perfect. The moment I will execute this instruction, the Python interpreter will create an object of integer class. Okay, it will create an object of integer class and give it a label known as a, which will be known as your variable. So if I execute this instruction, just done, and I can check, does it belong to the integer class? To check any data type, which function we have a built-in function known as type function. To check any data type which it belongs to, we have a function known as type function. Okay, and all the function that we will be seeing will have these parentheses available. Within this parentheses, we have to pass whatever argument is, whose data type I want to check. So I can pass a. So I want to check what is the data type of a. I would just execute this command, right? So now tell me one of the command without using the run, by which command we can run this and come to the next cell. Everyone understand I'm saying? I'm not going to click this command run. I want to use some shortcuts to execute this command and move my EAS and move my cursor to the next cell. We have two options, right? For the same purpose. Two options are there.
Shift plus enter.
And one more.
Control plus enter.
Shift plus enter. Control plus enter.
Mixing. Control plus enter will do what? Remember? I think you're mixing.
We will use Alt plus enter.
Yes,
enter
yes.
or
Alt
shift
plus enter or
enter.
shift plus enter. Very good. Control plus enter will keep my cursor here only, right? It will keep my cursor here only. And if I press Shift plus enter, my cursor will go to the next cell. Or if I press Alt plus enter, my cursor will go to the next cell. So let me press Shift plus enter. Okay, done. And show me it belongs to the integer class. And we want to see that class term. Okay, class term. So that do one thing, just use print function. Okay, and pass this type A inside this. Just pass type A inside this. Now you will see completely that this A variable means the variable A, which is pointing to an object known as 250. It belongs to the integer class. It will show you completely. Let me again press Shift plus enter. Can you see? It is showing that it belongs to which class?
Integer class.
Integer class. Okay. Similarly, I want to create a floating point number. Very simple. The point number which is having points. Okay. Or decimal point available. Suppose I mentioned 12.456. 12.456. Suppose I'm giving a name P. Okay. Now suppose I'm using A is equal to 12.456. Can you tell me what will happen again in this case, everyone? Please understand, we discussed very much in detail yesterday. Intentionally, I discussed so that you become master of this thing. If I execute the instruction, what will happen? Come on, somebody replied.
It will create object of a float class.
Very good. And what will happen to this one? Because now you mentioned the same variable name, right? You mentioned the same variable name here. So what will happen?
Will be replaced.
No, that's fine. What will happen with this object which has been created, right? We discussed that
The
an
life
object.
cycle will end.
Yes,
the life
very
cycle
good.
of that
Yes,
object.
very good, very good, very good. Means that will become a garbage now, right? Because only how many variables are referencing this? Only and only one variable is referencing this, and that referencing has gone once we declare this, right or wrong? Now this A is referencing what? 12.456, no longer 250. No longer 250. So there is nobody who is referencing this 250. So 250 will become what? Garbage, right? So whatever ID that has been assigned to it, it will be taken back and it can be assigned to anybody else. So it will become a garbage now, right? So its life cycle of this object will become over. Life cycle is gone. So we can execute this. If we execute this, then what will happen? An object of which class will be created? Float.
Float.
Right? Float class will be created and a label will be assigned that will be known as A. So if I press again Shift plus enter, that has been done. And again, let me copy this command and execute this. And let's verify. See, it belongs to the class float. Similarly, we have complex numbers, right? Similarly, suppose I use this one again. A is equal to, I mentioned 5 plus 2j. Okay, 5 plus 2j. So you j you have to mention, remember that. You have to mention j. Okay, for the complex thing, you have to mention j. Other alphabets are not acceptable. You have to mention j. So I mentioned 5 plus a plus 2j. Let me execute this, Shift plus enter. That has been done. And if I now check its type again, I can control V, print type A, which I just pasted. And if I execute this, what will happen? This time, what will happen? An object will be created of which class? Complex. Okay, so let me execute this and check everyone. Fine, please tell me. Understanding? Any doubt anyone is having, please, you can ask me now. I think very simple thing, but if anybody is having even a single person doubt, please ask me. I want everyone active participation. That is a primary thing. Okay, it should be interactive class. I am talking, you are discussing everything. That should be live. It should not be like a drowsy class. I'm just speaking. You are putting your phone aside and you are just sleeping or watching the movies. Okay, because if you are not, yes, you are not going to get the numbers for attending this class. Yes, please.
Sir, in complex number, can we use the angular polar?
No. Unfortunately, you have to mention this way only. Unfortunately, you have to mention this way only. You have different methods actually for the same. Suppose this is A now. I'll come to that. Actually, those methods things available. Suppose this A is right now belongs to which? Complex. So if I do A dot and press tab. Okay, so what it can do, maximum what it can do, it can give you conjugate, it can give you imaginary number, it can give you the real number. For example, 5 plus 2j I mentioned now. So you can write, you can clear your own expressions, or you can import your third-party libraries with the help of which whatever you want to do. If you want to do any mathematical operation, for that purpose, actually we have a different library altogether. A different library altogether. Let me show you that. If I come here and import a library, just a second. Actually, there is a library known as a math library. If you want to do much research in the same, right? So there is a library known as math. Okay. And if I come here, math dot, if I press tab, just observe the libraries, please. See what else, what you want, it can do. Can you observe?
Yes.
Okay, so huge libraries are there for your specific purpose. There will be certain library available for sure. Right now, you can have only type a plus 5g or something like that. And what it can do, it can give you only these things what we discussed, right? A dot, I just pressed conjugate value of this complex number, imaginary value of this number, real value of this number. If you want to do perform some advanced mathematical calculation, you have, I just showed you one library. There are huge amount of libraries which are available. Okay, huge amount of libraries. That is the beauty of the Python. I told you in the beginning itself, right? Huge amount of library. Whatever you can imagine, for that purpose, a library is available. Just import it and use it. Okay, is it okay, everyone? The person who asked, is it okay?
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Okay, so huge amount of libraries are available, which as per your research requirement, you can use. We have computer vision library, right? We have uh, other libraries, deep learning libraries, different libraries are there which you can import. We have a calendar library which you can import for the calendar things and everything. We have time series forecasting libraries. So different libraries are there. Huge amount of libraries. That's the beauty of the Python. You just import that library and done the task. For example, you have that example, that thing what we call it, what we call in phone we create now. What we set that in the dates we put something. I forgot what we call it as scheduler. Right, scheduler. We create another phone. Now, this is the event. Please give me an alarm at that particular date when this particular time comes. We put in our Google Calendar. Same thing you can do in Python within maximum 3 minutes or 4 minutes, not more than that, because already the libraries are there. So for almost everything, there is a library available. Okay. So I'm moving ahead with the second category known as Boolean. Okay, and Boolean itself consists of two types. Understand? There are two categories in the same: true and false. Two category in the same, true and false, and normally you will be using for them for some conditional execution. Okay, from some conditional execution. For example, you want to run an infinite loop. Understand? You want to run an infinite loop. If you people are aware of the looping, if you want to run an infinite loop, why I want to run an infinite loop? Suppose I want to work on an IoT project, okay, or Internet of Things project, or any smart project. Example: the project is what? In a classroom, you have placed the sensors, okay, and what you want, this fan should be on. Understand? This fan should be on when somebody enters into the class. Okay, when somebody enters into the class, only at that time that fan should be on. If somebody does not enter into the class, then fan should be off. Okay, even nobody is there in the class, then fan should be off. Then fan should be off means your fan should be on only when somebody enters into the classroom. Until somebody is there, keep the fan on. Okay, and the moment everybody leaves the class, just turn the fan off. Okay, we want such kind of thing. So what we want, we continuously want to observe the value. What you will do, you will, for such cases, you will put a sensor somewhere, a sensor there, some sort of sensor. Example, a sensor can be what? A passive infrared sensor. For example, you must have seen in the gate of the malls, the moment you enter, come closer to the gate of the mall, the gate of the mall automatically gets open. There is no guard. Automatically the gate opens. What? Because there is a sensor available known as passive infrared sensors. Because our body, the human body actually radiates what? Infrared. It senses that, okay, somebody is there. That means there is an infrared sensor. Okay. And you come closer to that, it will open the gate. After some time, it will close the gate. Right. So you can place that sensor there, but you have to continuously monitor what? Continuously monitor what? The state of that sensor. You have to continuously monitor the state of the sensor, right? Continuously in a loop. Keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, right? And the moment somebody come closer to the gate or somebody enters into the classroom, turn on the fan. Okay. Till humans are there, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking means you are continuously checking until single person is there, fan will be on. The moment everyone is left out means though no human is there, turn the fan off. So what for that purpose, what you are doing? You are continuously checking something, right? Same process you are repeating again and again and again. What is that process? Check, 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 check. And when we have to do one task multiple time, what we use? Loops. Right or wrong, everyone? When we want to perform some operation multiple times, then what we use in the programming for the same? Everyone, please tell me what we do. We use loops,
Looping.
right? We use looping for the same. For that purpose, what kind of loop is required? Your fixed loop means your fixed length loop or infinite loop in such scenario, everyone? What kind of loop is required in such scenario?
Infinite.
Yes, infinite loop, right? So in infinite loops, you will use these true and falses kind of things. They will come into the picture. Means you will like something like while true, something like this. Let me show you that one simple syntax. While true, I just mentioned. print hello. My system will freeze. Unfortunately, I will have to somehow close it. Let me execute this because I mentioned true means I'm saying that keep executing the loop till this condition is true, but this will always be true. True is always true, right? True is always true. So it will keep printing hello. Let me execute this. Can you see? It will not stop. It will not stop at any cost. What is this? This is your infinite loop. We just keep running. Just observe. It has not stopping anymore. See, I'm scrolling it down. It is going up. Can you see this cursor, everyone? Can you observe? Because what is happening?
Yes, sir.
Continuously hello is printing. Continuously hello is getting printed. I'm scrolling it down again. See? Continuously hello is printing. It's not stopping. It will never stop. If some scenario we want to run this infinite loop, this true and falses are going to be very much helpful for you. Now I have to somehow stop this. So kernel, let me call it interrupt. Yeah, done. Okay, now it has been stopped. Okay, so you get an idea how this use can be. So there are two values only, true and false. You can assign them these values to a variable as well. Okay, you want to assign these values to a variable. Let me just remove this cell because this cell will irritate me right now. Okay, so you can this value to a variable as well. For example, I assign a is equal to true. Okay, I can execute this shift plus enter and I can check its data type, right? How simple? Type of a. Execute. It's what? Boolean data type. Okay, similarly, you can assign false as well if you want. See example. You can assign this value to the false, but I tell you, mostly you will be using them for conditional execution. Mostly you will be using for conditional execution, right? So this time again, we can assign them. Now come to the most important one, okay? Which if you learn the string world, I told you, because there are other data structures which are available like list we will be discussing, right? We will be using tuples, we will be using dictionaries, right? It means complex data structures we are going to discuss in the Python. For that purpose, understanding of string is very important, okay? So next is your string data types. String. What is a string? Okay, come first. A string is nothing but a character or a sequence of characters. Okay, it is a character or a sequence of characters. As simple as that. If you never heard the word string, trust me. This is what a character or a sequence of characters. Doesn't mean only alphabets. Mean I'm not saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It can be inside the string. You can have numbers. You can have special characters. Anything. For example, your string can have anything. Example, let me create first string. Okay, let's first string. And suppose that string I'm creating again, giving a name variable A. Understand? And to create a string in the Python, if you want to create a one-line string, you have two options. Okay, anyone you use, either type that thing in a single quotes within the single quotes. This is one option. Okay, let's suppose I type Python programming. This is one way. Another way of writing the same thing is again, you can use double quotes. Both are acceptable. Anything you want to use, it's your choice. Okay, I personally prefer double quotes, but you can use whatever you want. You want to use single quotes to represent your string, or you want to use double quote to represent your string, is perfectly acceptable. Anything will work. Either use a single quote or a double quote. Okay, for a single line string. I repeat once again, for single line string means your string will end in one thing. Okay, right now I mentioned only characters here, but it's my choice. Okay, there's also one special character here. If you can see, that is the space. That will also be considered as one character. Okay, so right now we have alphabets and one special character. You can have other special character, example at the rate, hash. You can have numbers, whatever you want to type. Anything you can have in this. Anything you can have special character. You can have numbers. You can have underscore. Whatever you want to have, you can have inside the string. Okay, anything, and I can execute this. See, it will work. No problem. See, done. And I can check this type again. Type of a. It is what? String. Same thing is this. Whether you use a single quote or a double quote, both are acceptable. Shift plus enter. Right? Similarly, suppose I try to write a multi-line string using single quote or double quote. Okay, so I just again use a equals to, I put a double quote, I type hello, how, I press enter. Okay, I press enter. Are you? Can you see? And let me execute this. See what I'm getting? Error. Right? Because these single quotes and double quotes are not acceptable for what? Your multi-line string. They can support a single line string, but they cannot support your multi-line string. So if somehow you need multi-line string, you have to use triple quotes. Remember, the single quote and double quotes are for single line string, but for the multiple line string, you have to use triple quote. For example, I want to write a multi-line string. Example, a paragraph. You may be in the future working on a natural language processing thing. Means you fetch some sentiment from a Facebook and you want to analyze that this sentiment is your positive sentiment or a negative sentiment. Okay, this is how actually works. If you go to the China, what is happening in the China? You know, they are not using WhatsApp. They are not using Facebook. They're not using Google. Okay, they are using their own search engines. They are known, you must be knowing about UC browser, right? It's Chinese only. So they are using UC browser. They are using a WeChat instead of WhatsApp, their own one, right? Similarly, for instead of Google, they have Baidu, BAIDD. I think it's Chinese only, Baidu, right? And for Facebook, again, they have a substitute available. And what the Chinese government does, understand, everything you type there, whether it's a WeChat, whether it's you are doing searching somewhere or you are doing something on the social media, okay, they everything they do the sentiment analysis of your text. You are under observation all the time, under observation all the time. There is nothing like privacy, no privacy at all, no privacy at all. Even Indian government is trying for the same, but there has been a war between WhatsApp and India right now. If you must have seen that in the newspaper also. WhatsApp says no, it's against our confidential policy, but government of India is saying no, we want that. We want to keep observing that nobody is provoking some you can say anti-India slogans or something like that, or anything which provokes violence or something like that. Okay, so Indian government is asking for the same, but WhatsApp there is a war going on between. Same thing happened with the Twitter as well, even. But I don't know permission has been given or not. But in China, everyone observes. So what my purpose is. There is a huge population in the China, close to 145 crores, if I'm correct, right? If they place humans to check the they place humans to check the sentiments of everyone, is it possible? Of 145 crore people, impossible. So what they have deployed their machine learning algorithms there. Okay, they have deployed their machine learning algorithms there, and those machine learning algorithms are predicting the sentiments. They're fetching their text, whatever you are typing, okay? Whatever you are typing, they're fetching their text and doing a sentiment analysis of the same. For that purpose, of course, they're fetching the sentiment. In that cases, is it mandatory that every sentiment will lie in only in one line? People used to write anything in the Facebook, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines. For such cases, actually, you have a text available. Then single line string and multiple line string, sorry, single line string won't work. You need multiple line string. So deal with the multi-line string. What do you need? You need triple quotes like this. We saw just saw this double quote is not allowing, even single quote will not allow it. See, if I use a single quote here, this one and this one, it won't allow, right? It won't allow us at any cost, right? It won't allow. But instead of that, I use triple quote. Doesn't matter if single or double, but I need triple quotes, right? So I mention this and I mention this. Can you see? Now it is permitted. If I execute this, done. And if I now print A, see everyone, is permitted. So if anyhow you need multi-line string, you have to go with triple quotes. Whether single or double does not matter. Okay, whether single or double, anything you can use for multi-line string. Okay, so to represent your string, you need first of all single line string. You need a single quote or a double quote. For multi-line string, you can go with triple quotes. Right now, come to some interesting scenario. Suppose I want to write this in the string. What? A equals to, suppose I write in a single quote. For example, I'm typing single quote. Python's class. I want to write this Python's class. Okay. And after the n, actually, you want to put this single quote here, right? What we call it, I think we call it as apostrophe s, right? We want to put that. If I don't put it, it's look like this. Even I make it closer, something like this. This is fine. But my requirement is after n, I want to put this quote. After this n, I want to put this quote, but it will not allow me. See, if I do this, can you see something change immediately? See, now I know it, but fine. It means beginning of the string. It means end of the string. So far, everything is fine. If I execute, it will perfectly execute without any problem. Done. And I can check the results as well. For example, I type print A. I'm getting perfect Python's class. But suppose I try to put this here. Okay, it is my requirement, right? I want to mention Python's class. Then string is not permitting me. String is not permitting me. But I want somehow this here. I want somehow this. I don't know how you will do that, but I want this here. This is my requirement. I want to see this way. Python's class before as this should be there. Okay. If I use single quote, there are multiple ways you can solve this problem. Multiple ways you can solve this problem. One simple way, I'm using why this problem arises actually. The interpreter recognizes that, okay, this is the start of the string. Okay. And this as the end of the string. So it's understood that, okay, the string has been closed now. That is the main problem. So if I execute this, I'll get an error. See, right? It is understood that the string has been closed right now. It understood that string has been closed. Somehow I have to deal with it smartly. Immediately an idea came to me. What idea is that? Okay, I know one thing. If I use a single quote here, okay, when I will print that, of course, that will not appear. That's very good. Okay, but to write the string, of course, I'll need a single quote or double quote. So instead of packing my string inside single quote, why don't I use a double quote here? Like this. Can you see right now everything is green? And now if I execute this, it will be perfectly accepted. And Control plus enter and press this Control plus enter. Can you see everyone? Right. Similarly, if I ask you this time, I want, sorry, not this. Again, same thing. But I want this time a double quote here. Can you tell me instead of anything, my requirement is I want to see a double quote here. How can I solve this problem? Mandatory, I want this double quote here. How can I solve this problem? You get a hint, right? Yes.
One quote.
Why using single quote? By using single quote means I can come here. I can paste single quote here. Problem solved. Execute this and print A. Fine. But now suppose in some cases I need double quote as well as single quote like this. Some here. Now what will happen? Who will be our savior? Getting an idea what is the problem right now? I mean both in between. I want this double quote. I want this single quote. So I know that my single quote cannot save me. Even double quote cannot save me. In that case, who can be a savior? The savior can be triple quote. Yes.
Triple.
Done. See? Now everything will be acceptable. Execute. Check everyone. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
very good. Let me move ahead. There is other way as well, right? This thing we solve with the help of single quote and double quote. There is one more way, and we call them as escape character. Okay, what is this? Suppose I want to write again this time this Python this class. Okay, but I know that actually this string is not permitting me them. Is not permitting me them. If that is the case, means string is not permitting something. It is not permitting something. So what you should do? What character you want to insert? Before that, put a backslash like this. Put a backslash like this. This backslash is actually known as your escape character, and the combination of these two is known as escape sequence. Is known as escape sequence. See, I have a single quote here. I have a single quote here, and now everything is being recognized as a string only, and everything is red right now, right? That means it is recognizing perfectly as a string. Let me execute this. Okay, so if I execute this and print A, see, perfect, without any problem, the way I want. Okay, so sometime you can save this problem with the help of escape characters and escape sequences. There is not only one escape sequence available. For example, this is your escape character, and you can have another as well. For example, I use this. Again, I just copied this. Okay, and this time instead of this quote, okay, I put something else. Suppose there is escape sequence known as this backslash n. Okay, so this backslash n basically means what? A new line. This backslash n actually means what? New line. So your Python will be in first line and S class will be in another line. So let me execute this. It's done. And now if I print A, just a second, what happened? Yeah, again, go back. Yeah, print A. Can you check everyone? Is it okay? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt anyone is having? Even a single one. I hope it should be fine. right? Now let me come to the same thing. I'm moving ahead again. Okay. As we are discussing the string, I'll tell you how string can be used other ways. Okay. You just saw what I have been typing here. I have been typing and I've been mentioning somewhere this hash. What does this hash means? Hash means what? Understand comment. Okay. I think in the first class we discussed, but let me tell you that whenever I want a single line comment, understand, whenever I want a single line comment, I can put a hash and I can mention whatever I want to mention. Anything. Suppose even I write a code, print hello. Okay. Print hello. And if I place hash before this, so anything to the right of this hash will be treated as a comment. So your Python interpreter will ignore that. Okay, it will ignore that. So anything to the right of the hash will be treated as comment only. So your interpreter will ignore that, right? This way. Similarly, you want to write a command this way. Suppose this is print hello. Again, I write here print hello, this one. And I want to explain something in the next to this. Okay, this is a print command which will print hello. So again, I can mention here hash. I can mention here hash. And what I can mention after this, I can write this is a print command which will print hello onto the screen. Something like this, right? Can I put a hash here? Now, if you get an idea, everyone, can I put a hash here? If I want to presume that it is a text, sorry, it is a code only. Can I put a hash here? I want to keep it as a code only. I want to keep it as a code. Am I permitted to put a hash here?
No.
No, right?
No.
If I put a hash, what it will become?
Comment.
Right? Remember, so
Comment.
anything to the right of this hash will be treated as a comment only. Anything to the right of this will be treated as a comment only. So I put a comment. Now, so after this, even I want to put the comment. Yes, I can put. I know how to put the comment hash. I know how to put the comment. I put a hash. Okay. And again, whatever I want to write is my choice. Anything I want to write. Okay. So single line comment, very simple. You can use a hash and you can put whatever comment you want to write. Anything you want to write. And actually, for presentation purpose, commenting is good thing for presentation purpose. Okay, there should be not unnecessary huge amount of commenting. Okay, the commenting which is necessary, you should mention a comment. Where the necessary is unnecessary, don't put huge amount of comments. Unnecessary means you are printing hello and you're mentioning again and again this command prints hello. This command prints hello. You have mentioned somewhere, na? So people understand it is printing hello. So don't override those commands. Okay, don't override those commands. Now suppose somehow I want to line multi-line comment. Okay. So one way is that I can take the help of hash again. In first hash, I put one comment. Suppose this is line 1 of comment. Okay. Again, in second line, I can put this is line 2 of comment. Okay. And third one, this is line 3 of comment. Okay. This is one way. You can write this way. Okay. There is one more way actually you can do that. But that is actually a technique. Basically, that's not a command, but that is actually a string only. But if we don't assign any variable to a string, means we don't assign any string to a variable. Okay, so interpreter actually ignores this. So suppose I write here in triple quotes something. Okay, suppose here this is line 1. This is line 2. This is line 3. So actually, I'm typing what? String only. But what happened if I after these lines? Okay, if I type any code, example here, okay, line any codes like print hello, okay, which is a code, so this will be treated as a comment only. Let me execute this. You will see only and only hello, only and only hello. Can you see? So this is one more way of the writing the multi-line comments. If you want to write, you can use triple quotes. You can mention that, and after that you can use this hello. But suppose I use this again, okay, and after my code again I press this, paste this again, okay. Now if I execute this, see what I'm getting. This is a line, this is a line, this is a line. So if I want to understand, that's why I mention these, and one mention what your code line, then it will be treated as what? A simple comment, and it will be ignored completely. It will be ignored. Okay, but here it is available. Suppose again I want to ignore it. I can write another line here. Example print hello once again, or any code you want to write. Now only hello will be seen. You will be not seeing this again. Can you see? Tell me everyone, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So now let me move ahead to the one of the most important concept that is known as Python indexing. Python. Or suppose I want to write as a heading. How can I write everyone? Tell me. Anyone remember? I have to mention a heading Python indexing. What should I do? In a dark, bold color. Python indexing. Come on, everyone.
Use
At least try.
Markdown.
Yes,
We
very
can
good.
use Markdown.
Yes, very good Markdown. One way I can select from here either Markdown or heading, right? Anything we can select, but I'll tell you the shortcut as well. Remember what I can do? I can select this cell and what I can press? I can press M. What should I press? M. Right now, what code it is? What cell it is? It's a code. Let me press M. It changed to the Markdown. And if I press one hash here, it will be big. If I press one more hash here, it will be small. I put one more hash here, it will be further small. Depends upon what size I want to put. Suppose I want to put a huge size. Give some space. And I mention here what? Python indexing. Execute this. Done. Right? Python indexing. So what is indexing? Understand? Indexing is nothing but accessing any element. Understand? Accessing any element of an iterable, actually, we call it as iterable. Okay, over which you can iterate. Or understand for now, you can call it as accessing any element of a sequence by its position is nothing but indexing. Accessing any element by its position in the sequence is known as indexing. Example, this is what we are using string now right now. And string is what I just mentioned when I wrote this connection. See, it is what? A sequence of characters. So if I use again here Python, see everyone, what do you mean? Practically, you will understand that better. I mention a string known as my string name is variable name is my. I mention here a string Python. Python programming. Right? So it is what? It is nothing but a sequence of characters. It is what? A sequence of characters. So every character here in the string actually has a position available. What? This is first position, this is second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position, sixth position. And these position actually we call in Python known as index of that character. Known as index of that character. Every position is recognized by its index. And Python is a zero index language. Understand that. Python is what? A zero index language. So very first character means very first position will be given index what? 0. So Python's index will be what? Sorry, P index will be what? This is first character. So it is a 0 index. So index of P will be what? 0. Index of P will be what? 0. Index of Y will be what? 1. Index of T will be what? 2. Index of H will be what? 3, and so on. Okay, so Python is a zero index language. So when we are accessing any element of a sequence, okay, by using what? Its position. By its position, that means by its index, that is nothing but indexing. For example, I just execute this again, insert a new cell here, and I want to access just P out of this. This is entire string, okay, and I want to access this P. So I know that P is at what position? P is at the position number first. Right? P is at the position number first, and first position is assigned an index that is what? 0. So how will I access? I will access my, what is my variable name? Okay, or anything. Suppose, let me make it small so that easy to type. Again, execute. I come here, M, put a square bracket. Okay, simply put a square bracket. And what is the index of P, everyone? I just told you what is the index of P. Python is a 0, right? Just put 0 here. Just put 0 here and execute. What it is giving me? P. Right? Now, similarly, you can tell me, if I want to access this O, I want to access this O somehow. How will I access? This O I want to access. Tell me, everyone. M, square bracket, and tell me.
4.
Count. 0,
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let me press shift and enter. Suppose I want to access this P. Okay, this P this time. Now tell me.
7.
7, sir.
Okay, count. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Space is there. Space is also a character, right? Very good. So 6 and 7. So let me press 7 here. Awesome. Come here. Next, I want to access this M. Come on,
14.
count. 14.
14, sir.
Okay, let me check.
14.
Okay, 14. And now let's take an interesting scenario, everyone, right? See, you have a big string available, very huge string. Right now we are able to see, right? This is 0th index, this is first index, this is second index, and somehow your question is given to you. They give you a question in the interview this way. Okay, you have a huge string available. It may expand to the multiple lines as well. Okay, something like this. Let me create a string that way. Suppose string is s equals to, because I have to write multi-line string, I'm just typing here in triple quotes, and I just mention here, hi, how are you? I am doing good. Okay, I press the comma. What about you? Please give your information. I'm eager to know about you. Please call me back as soon as possible. Okay, so suppose this is my requirement this time is what? Let me come here, come here, come here. Yeah, to get this element, how will you do that? You'll get crazy, right? If you are going to type, right or wrong?
Yeah.
Right, you will get crazy. If you want to access this way, you will get crazy. So there are different techniques. One way is that, let me do one thing. Let me check how many characters are available in this string. Okay, let me check how many characters are in this string. So how can I check?
Length.
Yes, we have a function known as len function. Okay, we have a function known as len function in which I can pass this string len of s. So it told me how many characters are there. 147. So you come to know what I ask you. I ask you to give me last character, right, everyone? I ask you to give me last character. In total, how many characters are there? 147. So their indexing will be from where to where, everyone?
0 to 146.
0 to 146.
6. Yes, very good. So you know that 0 to 146. So what will be the index of the last character?
146.
146.
Yes, 146. So I can pass 146, and within one line, I'll get what is the last character. Right? This is one way. This is simple one way. Just first of all, come to know how many characters are there in my string. This is one simple way I'm telling you. Okay. This is one way. You're telling me calculate the length of the string. Okay. And within that, you from that, you come to know, okay, how many characters are there. Right, and you can create. I'll show you how to create the functions as well. Every time something asks you, somebody asks you, they give you any random string and they ask you, please give me one thing. Every time I need a last character, write a function for the same. What will be the last structure? So easily you can dynamically you can make it. I'll discuss that when I will create the functions. How can create a function? That function we will input any string you pass it to, then it will always give you the last character. Okay, by using the same logic that we are doing right now. Whatever logic we are doing right now. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Other way, understand. There is one more way of coming about the last alphabet. This is one simple way. Logically, we understood. First of all, we calculate how many characters are in there. Please tell me. It tell me, okay, this is 147 characters. So from that, I come to know immediately. This is 147. That means I should put this here. Okay, I should put this here. Fine, everyone. And I can even save this in one line. How? I can copy this. I can come here. Okay, paste here, and I can paste -1, and I can execute this. See? So I saved one line, further line of the code, because I know that it is always going to give me the total length of characters, and my last character will be always one less than this, right or wrong, everyone? You mentioned 146, no? So 147 -1 will be what? 146, right? So we saved our line of code. We saved our line of code. So you can, when you will go professionally bigger, you will write very small lines of code by understanding the things, how we can customize the thing. Okay, how we can optimize our code. Now come to this. Now other way. Okay, this is why the len function. There is one more way. If I come here and type s here, okay, remember the Python has a reverse indexing as well. It has reverse indexing. Whatever we discuss right now, it is a forward indexing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. The Python has reverse indexing as well. Means you can start counting from the last as well. And the last is known as -1. The last is known as -1. Suppose I pass -1 here and execute this. See what I'm getting. The last character, right? So it has reverse indexing as well. You can start from the last as well, but it starts this way. Last is known as -1, second last -2, third last -3, and so on. Means this E will be -1. This will be index of E will be -1. It will be -2. It will be -3. It will be -4. It will be -5. It will be -6, and so on. Okay. So another way of getting the character from the last, you can use reverse indexing. Okay, you can use reverse indexing. Just you have to know how the reverse indexing work. Reverse indexing starts from the last character, and the last character index is -1. And when you move towards the input, right? When slowly you move towards the input, your negative numbers will become -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Means you move from right to left. It will become -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and so on. Okay. So suppose I type this time, everyone. Again, same thing. Suppose M is equal to Python programming. Okay. I'd use this, execute. And this time, suppose I want to access this element using negative indexing. Can you tell me, everyone, or reverse indexing? What can you tell me? What will be the index?
-9.
Minus
9.
-9. Let me pass. Let's check. Control and no. No, it's fine. It's fine. -G, right? So actually, this is a space, actually, right? So space will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. Perfect. Perfect. Now tell me, everyone, what will be the index of this P? One. In positive. In positive, it's fine. Absolutely. If you're using positive indexing, it's fine. Very good. But in negative,
-20.
minus
-19.
19. Let me pass both of them.
-19.
Let me, okay, -19. Let me type. Let's check. Yeah, -19. Okay. I think you people get an idea what is the indexing. Okay. Accessing any element by its position, right? In an iterable is nothing but your, or in a sequence is nothing but your indexing. So we are able to access any element of this. Okay, any element of this, right? And we will see that this feature actually makes an iterable. We can loop over this. We can loop over this. Means what is an iterable? Iterable is an element which can return its element one at a time. Okay, what can happen? Understand? What can happen? Understand, everyone? What I was saying, an iterable is nothing but an element which can return its individual element at a time, so that you can iterate over it. Iterate means you can run loop over it. You can run loop over it. For example, again, let me type one simple thing. Although loop we will study in detail, but here the term iterable is coming. That's why I'm showing you. Let me create a string. Okay, or directly let me pass for I in Python. I just mentioned. Okay, this is a string, and I mention here print I. So what actually I'm gonna do, if you people are aware about the loops, in loops we have iterations, right? In loops we have iteration, first iteration of the loop, second iteration of the loop, third iteration of the loop, fourth iteration of the loop, fifth iteration of the loop. For example, let's take an example. How many characters are there in Python, everyone, right now? Can you count? 1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, right? So what will happen? This loop will iterate over this Python. Okay. So in first iteration, this I will take the value, which is the first character, P. So, okay, P. So what I mentioned, print I. So I will be printed. Let me execute this. You will see this better. See, so just executed. So what will happen in first iteration? The value of I will become what? P, right? And I say print I. So P is printed. Now it will move to the second. Okay. So in second iteration, what is the value of, second element, everyone? Y. Okay. So I will take the value what? Y. So I said print I. So what will be printed? Y will be printed. In third iteration, what is the value? T. So I will take the value what? T. So what I am doing? I'm iterating over it. I'm iterating. Why it is possible? Because you are able to access individual element of this by its position. This is nothing but an iterable. Okay, means if in any object you are able to access individual or it is able to return individual element of it in a sequence. Okay, so that you can iterate over it. It's nothing but your iterable. It's nothing but your iterable. Clear, everyone? So string is what? An iterable. You can iterate over it. You just saw. What we are doing, we are iterating over it. Okay, what we are doing, we are iterating over it, right? So we can define this way as well. An iterable in a Python, remember, object capable of returning its member one at a time, capable of returning its elements one at a time, permitting it to be iterated over in a for loop. What we are doing this thing, right or wrong, everyone? We are able to access individual element of this in a sequence or not, right? And we are able to iterate it over or not. We are able to run loop over this, right? This is one way.
Yes.
Suppose I want to run my print hello 6 times, example. Okay, 6 times. What I can do? I can just mention hello this time. Because I know what this loop is going to run how many times? As many number of times as many elements are there in this string. How many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will have 6 iterations. We will have 6 iteration. In every iteration, what it is going to do? It is going to print hello. Okay, don't worry about the loops at all. Don't worry. I'm just telling you how the iterable means, what the iterable means. Okay, it can return its individual element, right? Individual element in a sequence, and you can iterate over these. You can run iterations over it in the for loop. If I execute this, see how many times I'm getting hello.
6 times.
Why? Because how many elements are there in the string?
6.
6. Right? But if I ask you what will be the value of I in every iteration, again the value of I will be same. What? In first iteration P, in second iteration Y. Let me show you that. For example, before every hello, I want to print I. Before every hello, I want to print I. So that I say P, then hello, then Y, then hello, then T, then hello. Let me execute this. Can you observe, everyone? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt anyone is having, please tell me. Okay. Okay. So let me move ahead. Yeah, please.
Sir, if I want to print it combined like not P, then Y, not P, just to Python, like a single word.
Then you can
How
type.
can
No issue. You can type that. That too also you can do that. Right now you are using this na py, so it will give you individual py, y. What you can do, you have to concatenate them. Actually, that thing we have not discussed, because what I will do, I will give you individual p, right or wrong?
Yes.
If you want to print only Python, how many times you want to print the Python? Tell me. How many times you want to print the Python? See, how many times? 6 times. Example, right? So better way than mentioning the Python this way. Do one thing. Whatever you want to print, whatever. Suppose you discuss something. Suppose you want to take a variable. Suppose Python. This. I mention here what? Instead of Python, I mention here S. Okay, and mention here what? S. I mention here what? S. S is what? The complete thing. Let me execute this. Can you see? This is what you want, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we are able, everything is achievable. Just you have to discuss how the things are working. Because if I just use Python here, what was happening? Individually, I will be able to giving me only individual elements. See, again, it is going to give me individual elements only. See, if I use print I, again, I will get P, then Y, then T, then H. Then after that, everything I use this now, then I will get P, then Python, Y, then Python. See, if I execute this, can you observe?
Yeah.
Right? So you should understand how it works. So I will take one value at a time, because that is a property of a iterable, right? I will take one value at a time only. So you have to think what my requirement is. Okay. So if I want my Python to be printed 6 times, okay, I pack that Python inside this string. And what I said, okay, I will iterate over this S and I want to run that. Or you can do one thing, same Python you have mentioned here. You can use this way as well. The way we did with the hello means hello Python, and you can mention here hello Python this way. It is also going to run this way, because but individually I will have how many values, everyone, at a time? In one iteration, how many values I will have? No, at a one time. At one time. It's an iterable now. So at a time, how many value it will return? Only one. First, it will
One
return
value.
Yes, it will return one value, that is p. So I will take value p. In second, it will take y. In third, it will take t. Fourth, it will take h. Then it will take o. Then it will take n. Right? But we want to print how many times? That's our requirement actually. How we want to utilize our loops. We know that how many elements are there? 6 elements. So it will work this way. First element will be written in first iteration, and second element, second iteration, second element, third iteration, third element, fourth iteration, fourth element, fifth iteration, fifth element, sixth iteration, sixth element. So we know that 6 times this loops are going to run. And those 6 times, what you want to do, it's your choice. Those you want to do, whatever you want to do, you will see even complex loop means we will see this thing as well. That's wait for the same thing. Loop inside a loop for within the for one more for, then within the for one more for, that is no nested for loops. We will see that with the help of that, we can even achieve very complex requirement that we want to achieve. If we understand the core concept, how it is going to work. Okay, so can I move ahead if it is fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm moving ahead. Now comes to next thing, that is your string slicing. Okay, it's string. Again, I want to put a heading, everyone. Tell me what should I do? Come on.
M.
Yes, select this cell, press M. We are marked down. And what should I mention this time? Again, we want to make a heading, a hash, give some space. Suppose I want to make a little smaller. So let me put 2 hashes this time. Give some space and mentioning string slicing. Execute, done. Move ahead. Okay, what is the slicing? You know the bread slices. What is a bread slice? Small pieces of the bread. First, this is not the way. If you go to the bakery, bread is not the way that you receive. The bread is complete in one piece. There they have a slicers which slices your bread into the different slices. Okay. Similarly, suppose instead of using a complete string, sometime you want a slice of a string. Okay, you want a slice of the string. That is nothing but string slicing. Instead of using complete string, you need slice of a string. That is nothing but string slicing. Means what? I have a string known as, suppose, again I mentioned Python programming. Okay, I execute this. I want, suppose, only pyt slice of this pyt I want. Okay, or I want HON, or I want PRO, or I want only Python, or I want only programming. By the help of indexing, we were able to get only individual elements, right? This time we want a slice of the string. Or we can do even this. We want P, then we want T, then we want O, means something like that. Alternate numbers, P, T, O, means from an entire string, we need a slice. Slice of the characters we need as a string. Okay, I want a string as a slice of a characters. So how can I do? That is nothing but string slicing. I don't use the complete string. I want to slice it. For that, what is the syntax? Understand, everyone? You will mention this again, square bracket. You will mention start index. Okay, start index, then colon, then stop index, then colon, and then step size. Okay, 3 things you can mention, but nothing is mandatory. I repeat you once again. Okay, you can mention start index if you want. You can mention stop index if you want. You can mention step size if you want. If you don't specify the step size, the default is 1. The default is 1. Let me take an example. Okay, understand this one. Suppose I want these 3 characters, PYT. Okay, I want these 3 characters, PYT, from this entire string. So I'll mention S. Where I want to start, everyone, from this time? Can you tell me? Where should I start from? What is the start index? Start index
0.
is 0. Very good. So I mention 0. Very good. 0. Then I put a colon. Right? Where I want to stop actually?
2.
That's the catch. She understand, everyone. That is the problem, right? You exactly you said right. I want to stop at 2, but actually, whatever index you will mention here, okay, it will go one step less than that. It will go one step less than that. So if I put 0 and 2 only, example, 0 and 2 only, and let me put it complete, and I put a colon again, and step size means I don't want to skip any character. I want to go 1 by 1. I don't want to skip any character. Then I mention 1. Okay, step size is 1 means at one time from this character to this character, this character to this character, means I'm not skipping any character, right? 1. So what I will get, what I mentioned, step size, stop index to be 2. Okay, it will automatically make it 1. So you'll get only 2 characters, 0 and 1. It will give you elements from 0 to 1, right? If I execute, you will get only P and Y. See everyone. You will get only P and Y. So if I need T, so understand, what should I mention this time?
3.
Yes, 3. Because automatically it will give you 0 to 2, 1 less than whatever your stop index is. Whatever stop index you will mention, it will take 1 less than that. So it will give you element from 0 to 2. If I execute this, I get PY. Right? Now, if you understand the process, please tell me, I want to access this THO. Please tell me how will we do that? THO only I need. THNO.
2, 5.
Very good. Very good. 2. Then,
5.
okay. It says 2, 3, 4, right? So, but we want 2, 3, 4, then we have to stop index, you have to mention one more than that, right? So 2 to
5.
5. Okay.
5.
And as I mentioned you, this is optional. If you don't specify, it's fine. You can mention only this only. Start index and stop index. Okay. You can use this only, more than sufficient. Automatically, it will assign 1. Automatically, this is the default value. If I execute this, I get THO. Now tell me, I want to access this. OGR. OGR. OGR, everyone.
-9.
S. No, OGR we want. OGR. Yeah, you are
9.
saying -9.
9,
Sorry.
12.
9 to 12. Okay. Let me pass 9, 12. Let me execute. Yeah, fine. Perfect. Clear, everyone? Any doubt in so far?
Sir, -9.
Yeah, sure. What you are saying? From -9 to? Tell me. -9 to?
-6 to -9.
-7 to minus.
-9 to
Sorry.
Yes, count this way. We want this now. So count from this. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. So we want to start from
-9.
-9.
Then
Yes,
-7.
yes. And then come here. Okay, come back. -9, then -10. Sorry, -8, -7, right? But we will mention here what?
Minus.
-6. Because whatever you will specify, it will take 1 less than that. It will take 1 less than that. That you can mention -1 to -6 as well. Okay, both are acceptable. Both are acceptable. So we'll continue this tomorrow. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow. On Monday, we have classes from Monday to Friday. We'll continue this on Monday, everyone. Is it okay? It's not stuff. We have just started the slicing. We'll see much more thing in that. Much more thing in this. Okay, everyone. So I'm stopping for the day. If any doubt anyone is having, you can ask me, everyone.
Sir, what happens when we insert negative value in step size?
Actually, what it does, negative means it is simply saying that you have to travel backwards. It's a very common question. Actually, they ask an interview. They ask you, suppose, very common question. Suppose this is a string given to you. Example, this s is equal to Python. Okay, they will ask you in an interview this question: reverse this string without using any function. Okay, reverse this string without using any function. Right? So what we can do, see, if I use here s square bracket, as I told you, nothing is mandatory here. Start index, stop index. So I put a colon further. Okay, I don't specify anything. So if I don't specify in the start index, it basically means that you are talking about go to the extreme start. Pick from extreme start. That's what you mention. Pick from extreme start. Okay. Similarly, you don't mention anything in the stop. It simply means what? Go to the extreme end. Now, if I mention here -1, minus means once we simply means move in the opposite direction. Move in opposite direction. So if I mention here reverse negative indexing, it is simply saying move in the opposite direction. Okay. So by specifying a blank here before in the stop index and even blank here in the stop index, right? Both are blank. Then what we said, move in the opposite direction. So what is the opposite direction? From here to here. So what we will get a reverse string this time. See. So whenever I specify negative, understand, whenever I will specify negative means move in the opposite direction.
Reverse direction.
Yes, reverse direction. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
even if I specify -2, you can guess what will happen. Step size. This is step size, na? This is step size. So what will happen? It will move in
It
the
will skip one
yes, it will
character.
move in the reverse direction, but it will skip one alternate character, right? So if I mention -2 here, what I will get? Execute. See, I hope you get an idea. We started with N, right or wrong? We started with N. Skip
N.
O, then get
H.
H. Then skip what? T and get
T.
Y.
Y.
Then skip P. Then nothing is there. I hope you get an idea.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Especially that person who asked for the negative index. Is it fine? Sorry, negative
Yes,
step
sir.
size. Okay. Don't worry. We'll discuss this thing in detail because maximum time people do mistake when we have negative step size here. Maximum because they put here values different. I'll discuss this again. This process I will discuss again actually. Okay. So I'm ending for the day, everyone. We'll continue on Monday. Okay. At the same time. Thanks everyone for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, everyone.